The Dimetrodon is one of the few creatures in Ark that spawn in the swamps. Dimetrodons will also spawn in watery areas and maps where most swamps do not occur, such as Extinction and Scorched Earth. Dimetrodons are neutral because once you attack them, they attack you, as you can see here. However, Dimetrodon are very slow, so if you do attack them on accident, it's pretty easy to avoid them and kill them. Dimetrodon also drop prime meat when killed, so it's a really easy way to get prime meat if you kill a very low level Dimetrodon. Dimetrodon also do not have that much high health, so therefore if you do get into an encounter with a Dimetrodon, it will also be pretty easy to kill them. But of course, it is still a little high, so don't expect to kill with your bare fist. Dimetrodons are pack creatures, meaning that if you attack one Dimetrodon, all nearby Dimetrodons will attack you. To knock out a Dimetrodon, to tame it, you need a rifle. And the reason why is because Dimetrodon have low health, as I've said before, and if you try and knock it out with tranq arrows and a crossbow, it might be a little too much for the Dimetrodon and it will die. So therefore, you are going to want to use a rifle and tranq darts, or shocking tranq darts if you have the materials. I also used about 36 tranq darts for this creature, but I do recommend you use more than that. Perhaps get about 60 in case something goes wrong or you missed a few shots. These guys' torpor drains down very high, and because their torpor rate drain is very high, if you miss a few shots, it's going to be losing a lot of torpor, so that's going to make you have to use more tranq darts to knock it out. For those who need it, the long neck rifle, which is what I call the rifle, is unlocked at level 35, and tranq darts, the standard one, not the shocking, they're unlocked at level 62. So this is a mid-game creature. So the long neck rifle needs 95 metal ingots, 20 wood, and 35 hide to be crafted. And the tranq darts need 3 narcotics, 2 metal ingots, and 1 simple rifle ammo to be crafted, and that will craft you 1 tranquilizer dart each. Since this is a mid-game creature and you're probably around level 63 or 4, I'm going to assume that you know how to craft simple rifle ammos and narcotics. As you've noticed by now, my Dimetrodon is running away from me. This means it's about to get knocked out. When this happens, continue to pursue your Dimetrodon. And once it makes an animation where it just stops, that means it's been knocked out. In a moment, this Dimetrodon should be knocked out, like right here. Once this has happened, it is knocked out and its torpor will soon start to drain. As I have said, this creature's torpor rate is extremely high and will lose torpor quickly, meaning that you are going to need to use narcotics for this creature. Now, I have boosted stats, so I will not need to use as many narcotics. If you are playing on a PvP server or an official server of any kind, you're going to need way more narcotics than what I'm going to be using. So keep that in mind when taming this Dimetrodon. Make sure you insert your narcotics into the Dimetrodon. Don't worry, it's not like a Giganotosaurus or any of those other creatures. Its torpor rate is fast, but not too fast. You will have enough time to go get food if needed. If you've already gotten your feet wet into Ark's oceans, if you kill jellyfish, you can harvest biotoxin. Biotoxin is much more efficient at keeping torpor rates low than narcotics. Use those instead. Dimetrodons are carnivores, meaning that they will eat meat or their preferred kibble. Dimetrodon's preferred kibble is ordinary kibble. However, of course, if you do have better kibble than ordinary kibble, you can also use those. For the purposes of this video, I'll only be showing you how to make ordinary kibble, but I'll also be using prime meat to tame this Dimetrodon. To craft ordinary kibble, you're going to need to put a medium egg, 1 cooked meat jerky, 2 long grass, 2 savoy, 5 fiber, and a water skin into a cooking pot. To know if your egg is considered a medium egg, go and pick up your dinosaur's or any dinosaur's egg and look at its description. It will say it's either ordinary nutrition, simple nutrition, extraordinary nutrition, etc. That is how you're going to know if your egg is considered good for the ordinary kibble. For the ordinary kibble, if your egg says ordinary nutrition, then it's used for ordinary kibble. And to make cooked meat jerky, you're going to need to put cooked meat, oil, and oil into a preserving bin and wait for a while to get your cooked meat jerky to be created. Once you've gotten your food, go back to your Dimetrodon and start filling its inventory with the food you want it to feed. I also recommend, if you're going to use prime meat, to put a little bit of normal meat on there in case the prime meat spoils. Now, my Dimetrodon's torpidity is going down pretty fast and it's almost out, but I am going to wait a little longer before I use my narcotics, just because I feel like I can wait a bit, because I'm not really going to go anywhere. This Dimetrodon is near my base, so it's perfectly okay for me to stay here right now. So I'm just going to wait here for its torpidity to go up. When you do feed it narcotics, like I've just did, make sure you spam it. That way that the torpidity is going to go up, but you're going to use all of it. When you use one by one, it's not going to go up as slowly, and therefore it's going to start going down quicker. At this point, all you can really do is wait around until your Dimetrodon tames. Make sure your Dimetrodon is kept safe, so if you have any bad guys around like Dilophosaurs or Allosauruses, then make sure you go ahead and kill them or take them away from the location. You can also track your Dimetrodon with the taming progress. All you have to do is select your Dimetrodon in the taming progress, and you'll be able to see where your Dimetrodon is and how much torpidity and how long before your Dimetrodon is tamed. I highly recommend you utilize that source whenever you're taming any creature, regardless if it's a Dimetrodon, Phiomia, Giganotosaurus, etc. Always use the taming progress whenever you need it. Once again, make sure to fill your Dimetrodon with narcotics when its torpidity is going down. If it's below 1000, I highly recommend you just immediately fill it with narcotics, regardless if it's almost tamed or not. It's just a much safer option than having a awoken Dimetrodon. When your Dimetrodon is tamed, feel free to name it and pat yourself on the back. You've just tamed a really interesting creature. Now, next thing I highly recommend you do is get it out of the location you have it in and take it to base. If it's already in base, then just walk it to your base. Don't forget to take out any kibble in its inventory because it's going to eat it, and you'd rather save your kibble when taming other tames. Now let's talk about what the Dimetrodon's used for. As you can see, this Mochop's egg is too cold to be hatched. Now let's take this to the Dimetrodon and see what happens. Alright, let's drop it. As you can see, it is now incubating. And that is exactly what the Dimetrodon is used for. It is essentially a living air conditioner. It would help you incubate your eggs and as well as keep you warm or cool whenever you're in a location. Now, how do you level it up? Using melee damage. The more melee damage you add into your Dimetrodon, the better it's going to insulate your eggs and you. So if you have a bunch of these guys and you level up their melee, you might never even need any air conditioner when hatching eggs, which is going to save you a lot of metal and resources. Or you could also be that one guy who's able to be in the snow biome without any need of any sort of armor, which is also pretty cool if you ask me. Now, if you're planning on hatching babies with Dimetrodon eggs, their ideal temperature in Celsius is going to be about 30 to 34 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit, that is about 86 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit. So keep that in mind when hatching your Dimetrodon eggs. If it's not at the ideal temperature, the egg is simply not going to hatch. So keep that in mind when you're trying to hatch Dimetrodon eggs. That is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.